Welcome back. My name is Nick and I have Taylor here with me. And today we're doing a deep dive on Cousin Greg. By the way, at thebestnerdyshirts.com, we have a Cousin Greg shirt and we have other shirts too from Dune, Severance, His Dark Materials, you name it. We are making shirts on it. And by the way, every comment is entered to win a shirt every month. So feel free to comment whatever you want. Predictions, theories, just how much you like our videos. Comment, and we'll enter you into the video. But today, my favorite character, Cousin Greg, deep dive. By the way, I think he's going to take it all. Anyways, let's go into the deep dive.
Side note. I think he's going to take it all. I'll do my little synopsis. Greg Hirsch is Logan's lackadaisical great-nephew. Far removed from the Roy family's wealth, he moves to New York to integrate himself to Logan Roy and get a stable job within the company. The first cousin once removed to Kendall, Roman, and Shib, and Connor, he is referred to the family as Cousin Greg. His mother is the daughter of Ewan Roy, Logan Roy's estranged brother. Let's do this.
That's the background. So I obviously think he's putting on a show. I feel like he's smarter than the Roys think he is, at least. Not us, but than the Roys, because the Roys kind of have him on he's lower than dirt when he first comes into the family. They really disrespect him. He comes in with no money, kind of like Tom. They're on the outskirts. Maybe that's why they have such a connection and buddy friendship. They're both on the outskirts of the Roys. They're not technically like Roys. And in the first episode, we see him at an amusement park, right? And now at this where we left off, he's much higher in the company. Much higher. He's in a way different spot than he was at the bottom. And we like Greg because he seems the most genuine and nice compared to all the Roys. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean,
would say so.
He has an innocence to him, where everyone that he's around is so confident. Like Kendall, Shiv, they're all so confident in the way they speak about themselves and things they want to do. But really, the confidence, that's all they got. They have nothing else to show for it. Where Greg is the opposite, right? He's timid. He fumbles his words around. He's not 100% confident. He flip-flops constantly. Mm-hmm. And he's completely
literally too. He's 6'7". He's just flip flopping around.
He's such a good character. But when we first meet him, he works his way to the top by using Logan's sickness or his being hospitalized to state a conversation saying he gave me a job at the amusement park. It's think about how twisted you have to be to use that to play to get ahead. Even that little bit, it's wait a minute, he's already playing the game to get ahead here. And then even after that, when he has to decide if he's going to be Team Shiv or Team Roman, he's already playing the game by making them both happy. You know what I mean? Because he's playing it so he's not going to be on anyone's bad list.
There was the point in the last season where he was both on Roy Coast's staff and working with Kendall. So it was wait, what's going on here?
I don't know how he's able to flip flop so easily, and it's so funny because he can do that and no one cares what Greg does. Mm-hmm. They really think he's nothing and he's no one, and they really don't care. The only person that probably actually sees potential or anything in him is his good buddy Tom. And we literally can't talk about Tom without talking about Greg. They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
But I guess how genuine is their friendship though? Because it's is he just kind of, I know that might be controversial, but is Greg just kind of a unwilling participant, a captive audience for Tom, who he's gonna kind of please and do what he wants, or do what Tom wants him to do, because he's a pushover, and then it's fun and people like their relationship, but it's I don't know, it's not genuine or anything. I don't it could just fall apart and I won't be surprised. So that's another theory I've seen, is that something will happen with Greg and Tom. So
it's so interesting too, because Tom thinks he can control him. Tom thinks he has control over Greg, but Greg has already betrayed him so many times. So many times he went behind his back, even to keeping the papers from the he tells him to burn it. He's one for me, one for the fire pit. There's so many things where he totally betrayed Tom, and it's so good. And now he made a pact with the devil, which Tom is almost stupid for making a pact with the devil because he's betrayed him so many. Greg's betrayed Tom so many times where it's like so crazy. But we got to talk about how he went from nothing to now he's dating women. To he has the fancy watch. He dresses differently than he did in the first season.
I mean, I have to argue that he didn't come from nothing, but
It's true, I guess, yeah. But
he
compared to the Roys,
he was barfing through a costume at a theme park in the first episode. So I guess he came from low on the totem pole, but yeah, for sure, I agree. And I think that what makes his character so good and so well written is that he doesn't have the confidence, like you say, of the other Roys, because he kind of acts like how maybe some of us would act if we were thrown into a situation with like 1%ers. Like you're very unsure of yourself, like you don't really know how to fit in. But at the same time, like you have to imagine he always has in the back of his mind his whole life that like there's this huge fortune waiting for me. So are you really like that, unstable or not unstable? Like, is life really ever going to be that like scary? I guess. I don't know. He kind of just wants to have the performance of like, I'm in the office doing the work. But I think the whole component of him having his like grandpa's fortune in the back pocket is interesting because when he's about to lose it, he's kind of like going crazy.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, he really wants that fortune. That's for sure. Yeah. And then one thing that I always thought was so cool about Cousin Greg, he's kind of like Harry Potter. He's our world. He's like our looking glass into the world of the Roys and the elite and the wealthy. You know what I mean? We're kind of learning through him the way things operate and the totem pole and like, oh, no, you can't just do this, you have to do it this way, or you know what I mean, like, and then like Tom's like his Ron Weasley, give him even more details on how things are actually ran around there, even though it's very twisted from Tom's perspective with the way he treats Greg by putting him in like a closet basically, and then he has to work his way out of the closet.
That does, I think we probably we had to have talked about this in the Tom episode, but just like one of the greatest Succession scenes of all time when Tom realizes he's not going to go to jail and destroys Greg's office, and Greg just looks so terrified. It is the best. It's so good.
Oh, we have a great Tom episode, by the way. Go check out the Tom. I mean, everyone loves Tom too. He's just so entertaining to watch, and he's also in a very awkward position too. Don't get me wrong. He's probably married to the worst person on the show, Shiv. But
disagree.
I'm just saying because she's
guys.
So
let's
mean.
Cancel Nick.
I'm not saying like her act. I think her acting's fantastic. I'm just talking about the character itself. But okay, so I obviously think he's gonna sliver his way up to the top. I think everything's gonna just line up perfectly with Shiv taking out Tom, Kendall taking out Roy and stuff, where magically he's going to end up on the top, and that's like the last person anyone would expect in the family to do it. So that's why I think it is possible for Greg to be on top.
It's definitely possible, yeah. I'm like not 100% in, but I'm like slightly in. Obviously, he's going to be a big player, and not to just I don't want to just keep referencing our predictions, but a big one of our predictions was that his grandpa will die and that he'll actually end up getting the fortune and then possibly end up on the board. I don't know. You can go to that episode to see more about it. So
taking his seat, right? And I could definitely see that too, right? If his grandpa dies and I don't know if they'll give him the seat right away, but if he makes a deal with Logan, like then Logan would put him on the board, which gets him even one step closer to ruling the company or something like that. So
yeah, and I feel strongly about the Ewan passing away too, because we were talking about whether we think anyone's going to die in this season, and it's like, I don't know, it might be too much to kill off like a main character, but Ewan's still like a pretty big character, so it could be that like sacrificial lamb if they want to. I don't know, that's just my
if there was anyone to kill
theory.
that's not a Roy.
Yeah, even though he's amazing and I love Ewan Roy, and I just like keep reminiscing on my favorite Greg moments, and besides the one that I mentioned about The Office, just him in front of Congress. That whole episode is just so good. He's just like, all of these actors are so good.
They did a great job with casting for the show.
Yeah.
Fantastic job.
I wonder if he'll still be with that like marketing assistant, or like trying to like get with her.
Was he dating like a duchess too at the wedding or something like that too? Or
he was
like
trying to. He was kind of being a player, because that's who Greg is.
That's very much like him though, right? He adapts to the situation. Like, I think they're sitting down and the girl's like, oh, the dress is so ugly. He's like, oh yeah, I don't like the dress. And the girl next to him is like, oh, I really love the dress. He's like, isn't it so pretty? Like, he's literally just like playing the cards.
He's a
like,
pushover. You can't
or
trust a pushover.
Well, I don't think I don't think anyone should trust Greg. But I'm just saying, he definitely, like, he plays like not like a salesman, but he's like I don't know if it's called like copycat, but like he copycats, so it makes the person feel, chameleon, there you go. So he just makes them feel comfortable. There's even a thing in sales where, like, if you say something wrong, if someone says something wrong, like they pronounce something wrong, you don't correct them, because by correcting them, you're creating a disagreement which may hurt the sale. So you just kind of go with the flow. You say, you know what I mean? You kind of stay on their side, and you never want to one up too. That's another thing in sales. Like, if someone says, I had a amazing golf game, and they say the number, you're like, oh, I golfed there too, and my number was even better. Right away, you're already, if
putting
you're trying to get
them. Yeah,
you're already one upping them. So I can definitely see Greg just playing, because he never tries to one up anyone. He's always like the bottom of he's always getting kicked down and stuff. So I can just see him. He's just waiting for his moment to fly.
It can get you far for sure. Yeah. Can it get you all the way though?
We will see in this final season of Severance. So subscribe. We're going to be covering
Succession.
Oh my gosh, Succession. Yes, we are also covering Severance, another great show on Apple TV.
Well, I'm just going to, you should just bleep yourself every time you say Severance on these episodes.
Like the dolphin bleep from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It's like, yes. Subscribe to get all the updates. We're going to be doing episode reviews as soon as the show drops on Sunday. So subscribe to get that. You can also go to thebestnerdyshirts.com, where you can find all the cool shirts we make for the different shows we cover, and every comment is entered to win a shirt raffle at the end of the month. So comment down below things you like and dislike about the show. Succession, not the show that we're covering.
Just like, don't criticize us.
And we'll see you on the next AsArt. Cousin Greg for the win.
Yeah.